Good morning, dear students. After we discussed retention of employees for talent management, today we'll be discussing compensation for employee engagement, that how compensation plays a vital role in employee engagement. So there are various strategies which are being designed by the organizations to engage employees through compensation. So these strategies are: first is paying for competencies. Um, After analyzing key organization positions to determine what competencies in employees differentiate the average from outstanding in terms of performances. So, particularly those competencies which are most crucial to achieve the organization's future focused objectives. And once these are determined, these competencies offer a benchmark against which to compensate employees. And in addition to expanding position, organization do have very salary bands, competency based compensation. It might involve merit based pay, spot bonuses, maybe year end bonuses, stock options, or other rewards predicted in outstanding performance rather than in hierarchical advancement. Second is offering proxies for promotion. Basically, in today's delayed organization, traditional symbols of advancement like bigger budgets, more subordinates, etc., they are now no more indicators of success. Instead, streamlined organizations can identify typical compensation packages associated with senior positions, and then incorporate these benefits into lower level positions. In other words, talented employees can be given a proxy for promotion. Now, this proxy might be an opportunity for professional development or a chance to increase one's visibility, responsibility, or authority. For example, instead of being given traditional promotions, star performers might be asked to meet with important customers, maybe participate in strategic planning sessions, and make presentations to senior management, present the company, professional gatherings, or work on a high impact project. So these offer a proxy for promotion, wherein compensation, they are basically not associated with a senior position, but they are into say uh, opportunity for professional development. Then third is rewarding employees to take charge. Employees must seize the initiative to get ahead and rewarding them to do so, which can result in engagement as well as skill development of the workforce. When an incentive is coupled with tools and resources to facilitate career and professional development, there is an opportunity and reward on offer, which most employees in the modern workplace realize that it is a win-win situation, and generally it leads to higher engagement in the workplace. So, as there is a clear and desired result which the company demands, along with the reward attached to it. So, employees are more engaged in trying to achieve it because of the reward and added benefit out to the personal growth. Aligning organization values with rewards. Well, in an effort to direct the organization towards its strategic goals, companies can also define values and behavior that contribute to its goals and reward employees who consistently exhibit these values and behavior. So, this strategy is effective when there is need to reinforce an organization's company culture into it. Uh, and its employees also can become a useful tool to build morale. Fifth one is clear and transparent compensation. A fair compensation system at work, which shows transparency in current bonuses, wages, and any benefits which are linked to the position of different employees and their contribution to the workforce. It might help them promote engagement. So, employers should provide role models or ideal characters which they prefer and also demonstrate the compensation they offer to such role models, which helps employees understand the ideal type of behavior to duplicate, which ensures engagement and productivity. Perhaps the key challenge lies in eradicating the entrenched hierarchy based notions of success, which lead to unnecessarily layers of management in the first place. So it is established today that a good compensation plan within the context of a total reward system is one that provides a method for reinforcing the value which added contributions of each individual through the application of their talents and the growth of their capabilities, and the outcome of their action consists with the key success factors of the organization. While specific compensation plan designs will vary according to company and industry, it can be used on culture, management style, and overall projects. The basic objective should remain the same, which increases the retention of valuable employees, better engagement, and higher productivity of the organization. So this is how companies engage employees through strategies. So when we talk about designing, that how companies should design total reward. So for designing total reward system for retention and compensating talented employees in an organization, so there are certain elements of total reward which will help you in retaining talented employee in the organization. So first is compensation. Second is compensation will be based of fixed and variable and short-term incentive pay. Second is benefits. The third is when we talk about benefits, it's overall benefits, and third is pertaining to work-life benefits. And fourth is performance and service recognition. And fifth is career development. So under all these elements, there are certain sub elements. So package typically consists elements of compensation, benefits, work life benefits, and all these benefits. So which while when we put together makes a total reward package. So, compensation in generally most employees, regardless of title or role within the organization, have an expectation regarding their compensation. So, basically, compensation is what you are paying to the employee in turn of the services which he is rendering to the organization. So, there are range of pay strategies that provide incentives and encourage retention. So, talking about the components under compensation, broad components there, it is fixed pay, variable, and short term incentive pay. Fixed pay, generally this is the base pay which is offered to an employee. So it usually is determined by the organization's pay philosophy and structure, and should be competitive based on the economy and other organizations with similar positions. Second is variable pay. This is pay that varies and changes in accordance with level of performance or results achieved. This is one-time payment, such as bonus, which must be re-established and re-earned each performance pay. Basically, variable is which keeps on varying, which is not fixed. And here in companies can do, they can add on, they can spice up this variable pay so that it helps in more and more retention and motivation of the talent in the organization. Then short term incentive pay, this is another form of variable pay. It is implemented as a way to focus and reward performance over a period of 1 year or less. So even we have long-term incentive pays. So a form of variable pay, a long-term incentive pay, it is designed to focus and reward performance over a period longer than 1 year. So which, for example, these typically include stock options, restricted stock, performance shares, performance units, and cash. Then talking about benefits. When we talk about benefits, these are the overall health and in the European countries or in even in here, some of the companies, it includes dental insurance as well. So which you should discuss with the employee when he is there, so that he is aware of the benefits he is, you know, he is eligible for. So there are also value added benefits that can be offered with the insurance plans. So under benefits, it could be employee assistance programs, discounts on fitness programs, and health incentive programs, which are also ways to which are also ways to expand the offerings to employees. And health and welfare plans, which include health insurance, pre-tax benefit plans, life insurance, and disability plans. Then third is pay for time not worked. So it again comes into the benefit, because a person, when he is not working, actually working, maybe in terms of leaves, in terms of weekly or holidays, lunch, rest periods, and all those will come under pay for time not worked. And retirement options, both in employee and company contributed. So it will include both what is being contributed by the employee and what is being contributed by the company. That we have, for example, PF, we have employee insurance, and all that, wherein both employee and employer is contributing. So all these will help in designing your structure in a concrete manner, which is somehow luring to your employees. Then under this we have legally required and mandated provisions, right? Such as workers compensation and unemployment benefits, and there are much more which have been set up by the government under the legal system. Then work life benefits. So top managers or leaders, they continuously recognize and should recognize the need for employees to have opportunities to enjoy their personal life and personal time off, because these days one of the greatest challenges of the for the employees is to maintain the balance between the work and work life. So incorporating social activities within the work day provides the feeling to of downtime while still on clock. So organizations should focus on creating workplace flexibility, such as working from home, maybe paid and unpaid time off, health and wellness initiatives, uh, sometimes community awareness and involvement programs, wherein an employee who wants to contribute to the society, or wants to join some NGO and all that. So it might be included under work-life benefits. Then caring for children and dependent adults, cultural diversity programs. So all these will come under work-life benefits. Then we have performance and service recognition. So we're talking about performance and service recognition. We have almost, 13, you can say, or you have more elements which you can add on, so that it is directly related to the performance, so that when an employee is performing and he is being recognized for the efforts he is putting in, so that is basically purely related to his performance. So there might be a time when employees work and their entire career for one employer. So companies are still seeking ways to recognize performance and loyalty to the organization, because nowadays environment and the market is being so competitive that employees do find opportunity to hop. So, and competitors want to attract and poach your talent from the organization. So, you need to have very, very concrete performance and service recognition awards, which might include service awards, retirement awards, peer recognition awards, spot awards, managerial and recognition programs, then organization wide recognition programs, exceeding performance awards, they're like star performer or employee of the month, appreciation luncheons, outgoings, formal events. Then there could be goal specific awards also. And when it is goal specific, so under goal specific, it could be quality, cost saving, productivity, safety. Then employee suggestion programs in companies which are which want to promote employee initiative and which want to retain talent. They purely believe in that employees whatsoever they are suggesting. For example, they have suggestion boxes, they have good boxes. So um, it might not be necessary every time that you implement what they are saying, but at least when employee is suggesting, one can have discussion about it, one can have an open mind, open discussion, that what employee has suggested, why it should be implemented, and why in case if it is not worth implementing, why it should not be implemented. In both the cases, employee will feel part and parcel of the organization, which will increase his loyalty towards the organization. Weekly manager and direct report meetings. How it will help weekly manager and direct report meetings. How it will help employees. It will help employees to know their feedbacks. So you are having a proactive control. That means you are having a control mechanism wherein employee is receiving feedbacks, and wherein employee is receiving feedbacks and finding out the gray areas where he can improve upon. Then weekly manager and direct report performance evaluation. So again, performance evaluation will be the extension of your weekly manager, wherein he is directly being appreciated for the efforts he has put in for the entire year. Then we have career development. So even career development, it becomes these opportunities. They also help in retaining employees. And since career development also they include your investment of the organization, so you have to have it in your, you will have to show it in your reward. So when we talk about total compensation, so employees will also recognize that these skills can be used to propel them to new levels in their career. Could be internship, international assignments, because these days uh, people do look forward to international assignments wherein they want to uh, go for certain period of year. It could be certain projects, or it could be for some time. So they are looking for uh, as a growth in their career, wherein they are getting exposed to mm, more options and more diversity of their jobs, which help them in their, not only for their career but as well as for the organization as well. Then internal promotions or transfers. Succession planning programs, because succession planning programs is very very important, you can say career development program for an employee. Because if you are putting a person in succession planning or a talent pipe, that means he's aware that sooner or later he is going to have that key position in the organization. So definitely that would give a positive sign to the employee. Then, in some cases, tuition reimbursement, wherein you are an employee is has enrolled for any high end courses, which helps and enhances his skill development as well as knowledge of the employee. So, companies do reimburse their tuition fee. In corporate university and mentoring programs, wherein you are wherein now under corporate universities and mentoring programs, there could be two options. Either a person or employee can himself enroll in a university, or company will enroll employee for a particular program under different universities. Then seminars, workshop, and conferences. You are letting your employee attend certain seminars, workshop, and conferences. Then online learning and webinars. And these days, after COVID, there has been a tremendous growth on online portals. So online learning and webinars, they also enhance employees' skills, and not only enhance skills, but then he is joining without having an extra cost of letting him board a hotel, or letting him travel from one point to another. So all these programs would be advantageous for an employee as well as for the organization when it comes to the cost. Then self-development courses. There are a lot many courses which are available for the employee to have the self-development. Then leadership training programs. So all these programs will help your employee in uh, somehow getting hooked to the company. So these are elements of the total reward, wherein you can work on, say, compensation, benefit, work-life benefits, and you can add on. various companies have added on and spiced up this total element reward system, because you have to have competitive in the market so that you do not lose your talent to the competitor. Then we have integrated reward philosophy. Well, reward management is based on well articulated philosophy. When we talk about it, is maybe a set of beliefs and guiding principles which are consistent with the values of the organization and help to enact them. The philosophy recognizes that if human resource management is about investing in human capital from which a reasonable return is required, then it is proper to reward people differentially according to their contribution. Obviously, a person, you need to differentiate between the rewards of two persons upon their contribution. Otherwise, it will give a common notion to employees that whatever efforts you are putting in, no matter how you are putting in, you will be you will be paid same as your other counterpart who is not putting in so much of efforts. So he'll feel demotivated, or he will not feel contributing anymore. So there has to be a philosophy of getting this differentiation, so that the investment return on investment which they generate, they it is being made by the difference which is being created by the efforts which people are putting in for achievement of goals and objectives. So the philosophy of reward management, it also recognizes that it must be strategic in the sense that it addresses longer term issues relating to how people should be valued for what they do and what they achieve. So reward strategies and the processes that are required to implement them have to flow from business strategy. And reward management adopts a total reward approach, which emphasizes the importance of considering all aspects of reward to a coherent whole that is linked to that is linked to other HR initiatives which are designed to achieve the motivation, commitment, engagement, and development of employees. So this requires the integration of reward strategies with other HRM strategies. It is very important that reward strategies are linked, are integrated with other HR strategies. Otherwise, there would be a gap. It will create a gap. So it has to include talent management and HR development as well. So reward management is an integral part of HRM approach for managing people. So when we talk about formalizing philosophy about say integrated reward philosophy, so first is it defines human capital strategies and aligns with strategic goals and objectives, business model, and company culture. When we talk about having a philosophy, it is not that only that you have to recognize employees efforts, or you have to generate a compensation system which is directly linked to the performance. But then you need to define human capital. Strategies have to be defined, and you must keep them in alignment with your strategic goals and how it is being how it is um, how it is creating value to the organization, to the say future mission and vision of the organization. Then it attracts, motivates, and retains employees by providing transparency on how the organization approaches compensation. Because having said that, you have integrated reward philosophy and you have total compensation, you have various components for designing your total compensation system. But if it is not able to attract and motivate, then it is not going to retain your employees. So you need to provide transparency on your say components of compensation which you are providing to the employees, which should be based on a reward philosophy aligned with properly aligned with your overall business strategy. Then it provides guidelines and a system of accountability that drives consistency across the organization. So employees perceive fairness and company mitigates legal risk. If organization is having a proper compensation system in place, so definitely you will have to have guidelines in the sense that when we say that compensation has to be integrated with the overall business strategy, and it must compensate the efforts of the employee. That means we are talking about incentivizing employees, and when it is incentivizing, you have to formulate proper guidelines that under what circumstances, what should be the target level, what should be the time level for achieving those uh, you know above and overall, say, incentives, or in addition to what is already being fixed as a base pay. So guidelines need to be provided, and system of accountability. Every person has to be given that accountability for achieving its goals and objectives of the organization. So one, if an employee is clear about the guidelines and system of accountability, definitely he is going to be very very clear about the expectation which a company is looking forward from him. And uh, since the transparency developed by the company is so and should be so, that employee is very clear about achievement of his goals and objectives, so it drives a consistency. When there is a system of guideline, when there is a system of accountability, it will automatically lead to the consistency across the organization, and which will be perceived as employees as fair, because everybody is being given a fair chance to achieve those incentives, to have those incentives under the formulated guidelines. And it also helps in mitigating legal risk because then you are abiding by the legal norms that are being set up by the, certain are statutory and certain are non-statutory, but in both the cases you are fairly treating your employees when it comes to compensation. Then it allows the organization to balance market competitiveness and cost control. Obviously it will help in retaining, it will help in maintaining that input output ratio. When we say about input output ratio, we are talking about turnover and retention ratio. So turnover should not exceed the retention. So retention has to dominate your turnover, and compensation is one of the strong tools in the hands of management to retain employees. We know that turnover is inevitable, but having said that it is inevitable, organization must design their compensation systems, their reward systems in such a manner that it overpowers employees' thought of leaving the organization. So this is how integrated reward philosophy should be designed. Now there are certain core principles for reward program designing and delivery. First is align the total um, reward strategy with your organization's business strategy and the related workforce goals. So, effective workforce programs, they are extension of business strategy, explicitly supporting key priorities and goals, and clearly communicating the level and nature of the contribution your company expects from its people. Then, second, it is optimize your total spend by allocating it to among those programs that matter to employees and deliver the right return related to cost and risk objectives. Uh, Despite the magnitude of spend on reward programs upward, um, there is a huge spending by the companies on which is being allocated to the development programs. So many of the organizations, they don't consistently measure returns, returns on the investment which they are making, or they clearly understand the relationship between program costs and the value employees attached to them. It is not necessary that what you are thinking is valuable for employees, not necessarily that employee too will perceive or take those components as valuable. So very important is that components which are being attached in a reward system, or which you are designing for your total reward, they must be valued by the employee. So you must have an idea what is the composition of the workforce and what is their need, what they require. Not necessarily that everyone will be requiring say, some of the benefits. For example, let us suppose you have a scholarship program. Now scholarship program, and now you are devising a mechanism that scholarship will be given to employees uh, whose says children score above 70 or 80% of the marks in their say school exams. So it will hardly matter to the employee whose student or whose ward or whose kid is not very good at studies. So he's not going to value that particular, say, component of which is being shown in the compensation. So there, you need to have those components, those costs which are being valued by the employees. Then design, communicate, implement, and deliver rewards that drive the specific employee behaviors which organization needs to achieve business strategy. So at one company's employees' technical skills and knowledge might be a key factor in driving customer loyalty, leading to, among others, an emphasis on deep technical training and development. At another organization, rapid turnover, flexible program solving, or fanatical attention to store cleanliness and point of service systems may be far more important influences on customer behavior, which might lead to a very different mix of programs which shape employees' behaviors and attitudes. So, identifying the right mix is not only a function of cost versus value, but also the culture and work environment which company is building and sustaining to meet strategic goals. So, this was all about the designing compensation for retaining your employees in the organization. So you companies must design organizations compensation in such a manner so that it helps in retaining your talented employees and you are not losing them to your competitors. Thank you.